Hi, I'm Jeanette White for Piper's Quilts and Comforts. Today we're doing a tutorial on these darling Bombardier hats. They come in an adult's version and a child's version. They're made with a really bulky yarn, so they knit up very quickly and they're super easy to do. We have already knitted our two ear flaps, and as you can see, I've used the double pointed needles to do that. You're going to need the double pointed needles again when you get up here to the top after you've done the increases, and it's too hard to do it on your circular needles because it won't stretch. So I just went ahead and used the double pointed needles to knit these two ear flaps on because it was easier to do. You can see I've got them laid out with the two pins facing me. If you feed these onto your circular needles to put the whole hat together and start knitting it, and you've reversed them, then your pattern is not going to be the same in this garter stitch. So you want both of the pins facing you. I'm going to start out by taking my 16-inch 10.5 circular needles, and I'm going to feed this ear flap onto those needles, and I'm just slipping these stitches onto the needles with the pin facing me. And I haven't cut my yarn that's coming from my ball right here. Now I'm going to cast on 18 stitches in a simple cast on, which is my only option at this point, to cast on this front forehead part here. You can see the hat is a wider cast on at the front where the forehead is than it is at the back where it's on the neck. So we're going to be casting on, we're doing the adult version right now, and we're going to be casting on 18 stitches. So I'm just going to twist the yarn around my finger. You can see the twist right there. And then I'm going to scoop it up, and I'm going to cinch that up real snug against the last stitch of my ear flap so that I don't get a gap right there. You can see there's a nice transition that goes in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now I'm going to cut my yarn, and I'm going to leave a long enough tail, about 8 inches or so, that I can weave that in later when I'm finished. I'm going to take my second ear flap that I've already prepared, and you can see the pin again is facing me. And I'm going to feed that on to my needle. And I'm just slipping these stitches from my double pointed needle onto my 16-inch circular needle. Now we're going to start knitting in the round in just a minute, and it's very important that that doesn't twist. And you can see here we have nothing holding these two together, and so a twist is highly likely. So I'm just going to tie a temporary knot here, and I'm going to go back after I finish the hat. Don't cinch it up too tight. And I'm going to undo that knot and weave those tails in. Now I'm going to take my ball of yarn here, and I'm going to make a slip knot. And again, I'm leaving a long enough tail that I can weave that in. And I'm going to put that onto my needle, and that will be the first stitch of my 10-stitch cast on for the back of the hat right here where it goes across the neck. So I'm going to, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now, again, we have the same problem here. There's nothing to hold that together. So a lot of times I'll take a crochet hook or just a needle that's handy, and I'll just kind of incorporate that, just pull it through, just so there's something to hold that together until I knit that. Now I'm going to take my ring, and I'm going to place it onto my needle, and this ring is important because we need to know when we've made a full revolution around. Otherwise, we get into a spiral, and we don't know when we have begun and when we have ended. And now I'm just going to start going around and making sure that I don't twist any of this. So you want to check the spine of your cast on and of your hat and make sure that that spine is staying the same all the way around. If these stitches here look funky, don't worry about it. As soon as you've knit your first row, they just fall into place where they're supposed to go. And you will be doing, and this is a little bit confusing, Every other row will be a knit and every other row will be a purl. So you can see here, I look and I say, okay, right here, that last row was a knit. Now I'm going to do this row in a purl. When we did the ear flaps, we knit every row because we were going back and forth. But when we're going circularly and we want to keep this same garter stitch appearance, it's knit one row and purl one row. And that makes it really easy when you get to the decreases, because the decreases are done only on the knit row, which is every other row. So this row I'm going to purl, and then you're just going to work up to here, and that means that you are going to be working 13 ribs or 26 rows, and it's easier to count the ribs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then you will start your decreases. This is really easy.